Hello all and welcome to Crochet Designs. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are working on the sleeve of our patchwork jumper, patchwork sweater, pullover. It is actually part 6, I think it's part 6, of our tutorial for our crochet along. Really, it's what it's called. It's called a crochet along. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit puffy everywhere else and tight around the sleeve. I did that on purpose. I didn't mean sleeve, I meant ribbing. This ribbing is made to be tight on your wrist. If you don't like it too tight, don't change the stitch count, go up a hook size, all right? Because for this ribbing, let's get a close up here, I didn't use this hook. I used the 4.5mm hook, right? So if you want that to be loose, just go up to your very next hook size, the same hook size you're using to make your colours. I hope that makes sense, all right? So we'll talk about that in the tutorial, don't stress too much. You will need 2 hooks, your 5 and your 4.5 if you're using them. You will need 2 stitch markers and you will need a sewing needle, definitely need that sewing needle, and you will need a pair of scissors. Now, I'm hoping that all this is making sense for you when it comes to the sleeve. Now, I did end up with 2 colours very similar on the sleeve. I'm not too worried about it because it's way up the top and way down the bottom. It's not too noticeable. But if you decide that you don't like that look there and there, you can change your colour combination. Just follow the instructions at the end of the tutorial to do that, yeah? All right, I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to let you get started creating the sleeve, the one sleeve, because you'll be doing one sleeve today, and then you'll head off and do your second sleeve of your patchwork sweater jumper / pullover. Good luck all. Alrighty guys, we're going to start off by making the ribbing of our sweater. Our sleeve, I should say. Now, I did mention in the beginning that my ribbing is really quite tight. So the question you need to ask yourself is, do you want the ribbing on your sleeve to be super tight, or do you just want it to be average? If you want it to be average, go with the normal size hook that you were using to create your colors across, but I'm going to use the smaller hook and make my ribbing a little tighter. All right, that's just a bit of heads up there in case you don't like your ribbing tight. All right, so we're going to start off once again, and you know how to do this because you've done the ribbing on the sweater, but it's going to be a tiny little bit different. So grab the tail end of your yarn, wrap it around your finger once and twice, holding it there, holding it there. This is the same. Pass your back loop halfway over, hold it there, pass the other one all the way over. I'm rushing it, I do apologise, but you can see this tutorial goes for a very long time. Well, you know this bit, and you probably know the next bit, but we're going to do that nice and slowly. We are going to chain 13. All right, it's a little bit different, but we're going to chain 13. And a chain is yarn over your hook, pull a loop through once, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So we're going to have 12 single crochets across. That's all sizes, but you need the extra stitch to start your row. Okay, so 1 single crochet in your first stitch. You can pop your stitch marker in there like so, as long as you don't split the yarn like I just did. And you need a single crochet in every stitch all the way across the row. You know how to do this. You did this with our fronts and backs of our sweater. So now we're going to do the sleeves, and it's the ribbing. Actually, this ribbing isn't going to be very much. Okay, each size will have their own ribbing, so we will talk about that later. Their own amount of rows, that is. But for now, we're just doing a single crochet in every stitch. I'm on the last stitch, single crochet in there, like so. Chain 1, hold it there. Make sure you count your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the 12th one is there, and we've done a chain. Yeah, That's the easy part. Well, actually, the whole ribbing, I think, is quite easy. All you're doing, as you normally do, is turn your work. In the first stitch, you're doing a single crochet. That's the same stitch you are in. Pop your hook in, pull a loop. Oh, don't split the yarn. Let's try it again. Pop your hook in, pull a loop through, and do your normal single crochet. Being wary not to split the yarn, yeah? Like I just did. And now what we're going to do is, normally we would put single crochets in the stitches, but we want to put them in the back loops. Now, if you've done the sweater before, you know where the loops are, but I'll show you anyway. That is your stitch like normal. Let's get my sewing needle so you can see what I'm doing. I'll give it a close up and get it up. Yeah, here we go. That is the front of your stitch, and that is the back of your stitch right there. Right there. The hook is in there, so it's a bit tight, okay? So you know what you're doing. You're going to be putting a single crochet in the back of your stitch. If you're not sure, face your work to you. There's the front loop, and there's your back loop. It's the very next stitch. That's your very next stitch. Take it out, pop it in the back loop instead, and do your single crochet all the way across your row, except your last stitch. We're going to put that single crochet in the whole stitch. And you know that from your fronts and backs. Once again, you're thinking, well, why are you showing us? Well, I'm going to show you this row and the next row, and then you're going to head off on your own, yeah? Super easy, yeah? All right, so keep going all the way across, all the way, all the way, all the way. Super easy. And one more stitch right there. That is your last stitch. You are going in the whole stitch, not front loop and back loop, the whole stitch with your stitch marker and doing your single crochet. Taking out your stitch marker like that. Chain one, turn your work. And of course you're making your little ridged area. All right, so single crochet in the same stitch you are in, like so. Popping your stitch marker in that stitch right there. Yes, coolio. Now you're going to do a single crochet in the back loops once again. You can see this back loop better now. Yeah, there, one there, and all the way across. We're going to talk about the count in a minute, because we didn't count these last two rows that we just did, yeah? We counted the first row, we didn't count the second one. And this is the third one. All right, and my yarn is tugging over there. Nearly there, almost. Okay. One more before we get there, which is right there. And then we have our last stitch, and we're popping it in the very end of it, the full stitch, like that. Chain one and pull up your loop, and get ready for some instructions. Get the stitch marker out. Hello. All right, so count your stitches across, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, hang on. Let me count that again. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, I'm almost thinking I was counting that chain. So 12 across. Make sure you always have 12 stitches across. Use your stitch marker for this so you don't lose your last stitch or forget to do it in your last stitch. Very easy to miss that last stitch. All right, so this is the way you do your ribbing all the way through until the end of your size. I'm not going to go through all the sizes. I'm just going to pop the size up on the screen there right now, and there it is. For your sizes, this is how many rows you need to have all together for your sizes, okay? We've already done 3 rows, 1, 2, and 3. So for your sizes, that is how many more rows you need to do. I'm hoping that makes sense, all right? So go ahead and do the amount of rows for your size. Meet me back here, and we will talk about what we're going to do next. All right, guys, so where you should be now is here. Everyone should have their own amounts for their size, and this is what you should have at the end of this row. Okay, now remember how we count our rows. If you remember correctly, we have our tail in our left hand side, or if you're right-handed, it should be in the other side, then what you need to do is, in fact, all you need to remember is the row facing you has to have a little bit of a valley, yeah? So that's 1 and 2. So you've got the 2 is your ridged row. So what you're doing is counting your ridged rows. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and so on, and get to the amount that suits you. And they're all on the screen right there. All right. Once you've counted your rows and you're happy with your count, grab your hook. Now we are going to be, if you were using the 4.5mm hook or the smaller millimeter hook before, you need to go up to the same size hook that you're using for, or that you used for the body of your sweater. So you used for the front and the back. This is for when you're changing your colors now. We are now going to work along the edge of our ribbing, yeah? Now, don't forget, make sure you have changed to the hook that you use for the body of your jumper, like the changing of colors. Or what if you used a 4.5 before, go up to your 5. All right, so you're here. If you haven't chained 1 at the end of your row, make sure you change your 1, yeah? And turn your work to the side, yeah? Once you've got your work to the side, this is what I want you to do. We're going to put a single crochet in the first stitch, and a single crochet, as you know, we've been doing them all along, go straight into that stitch like so, popping your stitch marker in there like so. Yeah. Then we're going to put a second single crochet in there. All sizes are doing this. So put your second single crochet in there. And we're going to put 2 single crochets in each ribbed row that you come to. So that's every one, all sizes, 1 and 2. Yep. Into the next one, 1 and 2. Good. Into your next one, 1 and 2, and so on. And what I want you to do, which is super easy, is to do 1, 2, 1, 2, or 2 stitches, I should say, in every row that you come to. Get to your very last row. These are the rows of your ribbing, by the way. Get to your very last section there, maybe the last 2 stitches, and don't complete them there. And I'll meet you at the end, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Now, you'll notice with this, it will kind of bend out like that, and that's the look we're going for. All right, so 2 single crochets into every row, or every stitch if you will, and I'll meet you here once you're done. Alrighty, so once you get to the end of this section here, your amount that you need will be up on your screen right now. Now at the moment, if you haven't done your last row right here, then you will have 2 stitches less. All right, so when you finish this row, you need those amounts right there. So in the meantime, we're going to do our last 2 single crochets in there. Okay, now it kind of looks like 2 rows because you've got the stitch there and the chain there, but I'm just going to pop them in the stitch, which is 1 and 2, or you can pop them in the chain. In fact, I think the chain will be better because it sticks out on the side. So just go right into that chained area and do your 1 and 2. All right, it's entirely up to you if you want to put the 2 in the stitch or 2 in the chain, whatever suits you. All right, have a look at these stitches on your screen now. That is how many stitches you should have across. Count your stitches before we continue, okay? All right, so let's get started on our rows. We're now going to start changing our colors. Get excited. You're going to chain your 1, turn your work like normal, and we're going to start with the red. It's up to you. You can change your colors now if you like. I'm going to start with the red color, and in the very first stitch right there, I'm going to put 1/2 double crochet like so, popping your stitch marker in there, which I've got your second stitch marker, as you got the blue one in the first, and this is not a good stitch marker. I might change that later, but in the meantime, pop your stitch marker in there, which I'm pretty sure has split my yarn. There you go. Now what I want you to do is do the amount of stitches across the row for this colour, do 1 stitch less. So I need to do 16 across. I'm going to do 15 only. So have a look at your count there. That's how many you need to do across. I'm doing my 15 and off we go. We've done 1 already, and then do the amount that you need across. I'm not going to count this with you, just do your amount of cross. So that's 1, I've done 1 and 2, and off we go. Pop this on fast. Alright, so what you should have is your amount across less 1. You're going to do your last stitch now, but you're going to do it with the next colour. What's the next colour, I hear you ask? For me, it's the blue. If you don't want to use my colours, then go right ahead and use your own. I'm going to use the blue. So what we need to do here is, let's bring that up a bit first. Start our last stitch. So yarn over your hook. By the way, this is the last stitch for you guys. This is the stitch you need to be doing right now. Yeah. So start your last stitch in your next stitch like so, like normal. Grab your red in your other hand. Grab your new colour, whichever that may be for you. Mine is the blue. Holding your red at the back with your blue in the other hand, you're pulling the loop through like so. Now, what you're going to do, I'm sure you remember all of this, but we'll do it together anyway. You're grabbing your tail end of the blue and your red at the back, yeah, in one hand, and in your left hand, like normal, or depends on what hands you're working with, you're doing your normal half double crochet in the very next stitch, like so. All right, and there's your color change. And go ahead doing the amount that you need across for your color. There's the amount for each color, and off we go doing our amount. 2 and 3, and off we go. And I'm on my last stitch right there. I'm sorry, the second last stitch I should say, because the last stitch we're changing colours yet again, and our next colour change I had to reach over the table for is the pink. Alright, so go ahead and grab your new colour and get ready for your next colour change. Let's see how we're going with this. Remember, you should have the amount across that you need after this stitch here. That's the amount you need right there once we complete this next stitch. All right, so pop your hook in, pull a loop through, pop your yarn in your other hand, grab your new colour, and over the hook, pull the loop through, and you know what to do here. Grab the tail end of your pink and your blue in the other hand, and go ahead and do your very next colour. Look, I won't say it's super easy because I do that all the time and I do say it, but it is fairly simple, yeah? Because it's not simple, you just know how to do it because you've done it all along. And the next colour is the green, all right? So what we're going to do is do our pink all the way across. I'm going to pop this on fast for you. I've done 3 stitches and off we go. So that's my pink row done. Yeah, I need to do one more stitch, obviously. And what I'm going to do is grab my green, getting it ready, and we're going to start our next colour. But before we do, we start the last stitch of that colour there, pop it in your hand, grab your new colour, pop it over your hook, and pull a loop through like so. Now you've done all this before, so I really don't need to show you. I'm rushing it to get it done because I just want you to start you off, yeah? So off you go doing your colours, your stitches for your colour. am on my second last stitch there. All right. I'm going to do my last stitch with you. So we're going to do the last half double crochet in the last stitch, in your stitch marker stitch that is, taking out your stitch marker, chain your 1 and get ready. All right. What I want you to do is count your sets. Make sure that your sets match these numbers right here. All right. For each size, that is the amount you will need in each set. All right. So count your sets, make sure they're correct before you continue, because that's what we're working on for the rest of the sleeve. All right. All right. We've got it all counted and sorted out. Now what we're going to do is flip our work, just bringing all the little tails that you've got down and out of the way, because this is only going to make things awkward later when we're ready to add. Yeah. If I can get them all. And adjust your yarns as well, because if you do, you won't end up with everything tangling at the end. So adjust your yarns, get it all ready. I think I've adjusted. There's the blue, there's the pink, and the green. We're about to start. All right, so grab your hook and you're going to do your second row. Oh, wait a minute. Let's make sure we've done it right. We've chained our 1, we've turned our work, and off we go, doing a half double crochet in that first stitch that you are in, the same stitch you're in. Do your half double, pop your stitch marker in like so. Oh, it's splitting the yarn. And there we go. All right, so half double in your next, like so, and your next, and so on, all the way across. Pop this on fast for you, and just get to your second last colour. Your second last stitch in this colour. All right. Okay, let's bring this up. I'm on my second last stitch. Yeah, I'm going to pull that loop through like so. Now I've got one more stitch to go. The very last stitch, I start my half double, pull the loop through. Now this is the wrong side of our work where all the tails are facing us. So we need to grab our working end and pass it forward, and make sure your tail's passed forward just for now while we do this part here. Then you grab your pink, you pull a loop through like so, yarn over your hook, slide it under the pink loop that was just made there and into the first pink stitch. Make sure you're in that first pink stitch, yeah? Pull a loop through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Yeah, we'll try it again. I know I shouldn't have to show you again because you've done this before, but it's easy to forget if you haven't picked up your work for a long time. So yarn over your hook, you're starting your half double like so, you're passing it forward and your green tail forward, and then you're grabbing your pink, yarn over your hook with it and pull it through like so, yarn over the hook under that loop that was formed by the pink and into the first stitch, pull a loop through like so, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and off you go doing your pink row. I'm sorry, your pink set. It's not a row, it's a set, yeah? All right, so let's continue doing this pink set. I will once again pop it on fast until we get to the end of the set, and off we go. Alright, so here I am at the end of the row, and in the very next stitch, which is the last stitch, we're going to start our half double, and once again grabbing your pink yarn, passing it forward. Oh, that didn't work, I pulled it too loose. Grabbing it forward, grabbing the tail, make sure everything's tight, yeah? Then picking up your blue, yarn over your hook and pull the loop through like so, Yarn over your hook, slide your hook under that loop just formed and into the blue stitch, and off you go doing your blue. Making sure you're not skipping the first stitch and making sure you're not skipping the next stitch after it, otherwise you'll be one stitch short. Yeah? Alright, so what we want to... Oh, I've just made a mess of my yarns. Hello. We'll have to fix that up off air. Alright, so what we want to do is do your blue all the way across there, like so. Alright, half doubles all the way across. Alright, once again, I'll pop it on fast and off we go. Alright, I'm on my last stitch right there, or second last I should say. The very last stitch is there. We're going to start the stitch, pull a loop through like normal, pass your blue forward, grab your tail, pass that forward, hold it in your hand there, grabbing your new colour, which is your red, and pulling a loop through like normal. Yarn over your hook, under the loop, into the stitch, and do your half doubles. Alright, simple, simple, simple. Now the best part about this is it is the end of the row at the end of this set right here. I'm going to pop it on fast and off we go. Alright, on my second last stitch right there. Let's get on to the last stitch, which is the stitch with the stitch marker. Did it split before? I think it did. Alright, so pop that stitch. This is not a good stitch mark. I'm going to replace that later. Pop that stitch in your last stitch there. So complete it. Chain one. And let's have a look at what you have. What you have. In fact, turn it over on the right side of your work so you can see it. Yeah? Alright, so that's the right side of your work. The row that we've just done now and the row after this one that we're going to do, they're going to be the 2-row repeat that you need. Now, you guys have already done this before with the sweater, but I'm going to show you the next row anyways. Now, did we chain our one at the end of the row? If you didn't chain your one, chain it now. I did. Make sure you've got the right amount per row, per set. You know what you've got per row, but anyway. Now you're grabbing the hook and you're starting again with your red. Yep. And let's bring this up. All right. So yarn over your hook. Oh, I didn't tighten that up enough. Yarn over your hook into that very first stitch. You're going to do yet again your half double. And off air I will change this stitch marker. But for now, just pop it in. And we're going to do our reds all the way across. Once again, you know what you're doing here. So do your red all the way across. I'll pop it on fast. Alright, here we are at the end of this section here. I love this row because it's a lot easier. You're doing your last half double, hold your yarn there, pop it in the back of your hand. Now, maybe for this row, you might want to pop the tail. You might not need to, but I will anyway. Grabbing your working end and just pulling the loop through. I don't think you'll need to grab the tail anymore. Yarn over your hook and do your blue like normal. So this side of your work is so much easier than the other side. All right, so I'm going to pop the blue on fast and we will meet at the end of the blue. Oops, I got crochet happy. I'm on my last stitch. I was just going and going, forgot to stop. I'm on my last stitch. We're going to do the last stitch. Pop the blue in the hand. I'm not going to worry about the pink tail. I think the pink tail's all right now. Just make sure you're not crocheting around that tail and and catching it, yeah, and just pull your pink loop through and off you go doing your pink. Oh, once again, I got crochet happy. I forgot the time. We're on our last stitch. In you go. I just keep crocheting and forget. Pop the pink in your back of your hand there. Make sure you're not catching on that tail. And just pull your green through like normal. I think I was out of frame there. But you know what we're doing. I don't even know why I'm showing you. Don't you like that? She doesn't know why she's showing you. All right, so now your job is to fast on fast, green all the way across. Okay, once again, I got crochet happy. All right, so that's, don't you love it? I just knocked the frame, guys. I do apologise. Way too high. All right, so once again, we're at the the frame fell. Sorry, I can't stop giggling now. Sorry about that. Yarn over your hook. You are on to the last stitch. Do your last stitch like normal. Chain one and get ready for explanations of what to do next. Yay! All right, so this part is the easy part, guys. You've all done 3 rows of your work, but the last 2 rows are your repeat rows. Now, you guys know this because we've done it with the fronts and the backs, but what I want you to do now is to repeat these last 2 rows over and over again for these sizes right here. Now check your size, make sure you've got the correct size or you're looking at the correct size, because that will make a difference to the size or the length of your sleeve, so be wary, yeah? So have a look at those sizes right there. That's the amount of rows I need you to do now. Meet me back here once you do the rows for your size, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, this is where we should be. Your wrong side of the work will still be facing you. You'll know that because it will have your tails. If you've weaved in your tails, yay you, but your stitch, your threads here up the top should still be on this side facing you. So now what we're going to do is change to our next set of colours, but before we do, I would like for you to grab your scissors and cut your colours. You can leave as long as tail as you like, it doesn't matter. And the reason we're cutting is we may need some of these colours for the next set, which I think we will. I'm not going to cut the red yet, I'll do that later. So the very next colour that we're going to start will be above the red, and that will be the pink. All right, so grab your pink and get it ready. And let's get started. Now, if you're using your own colour combination, that's okay. Just start your very next colour at the end of this row. So we're going to change our colour by finishing off that very last stitch. Pull the loop through like so, hold it there. Pop your red tail down, grabbing your pink, your new colour, popping it over your hook and just pulling a loop through like so. So grabbing the tail end of your pink and your red and pop it in your fingers at the back, using the working end of your yarn to do a chain 1, yeah, and then flip your work. Now you don't have any yarns attached now, so the flip will be easy for this row, very easy for this row. Now you've done your chain once, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And you're going to do a yarn over your hook, pop your hook in the stitch, pull a loop through, and you're doing your normal half double like so. And yours truly forgot to take the stitch marker out. I did change my stitch marker, by the way, guys. It was driving me bad in the other one. All right, pop it in there like so. Yes, very good. All right, that's easy. Well, that part is easy. And now what I want you to do is start crocheting with your pink across your piece until you get to your very second last stitch of this set of red. On my second last stitch of the red, simply divine. I love the pink and the red together. All right, grab your next color, mine being the gray. Okay, that took me a few seconds to do. I had to pause the camera a bit there. Okay, yarn over your hook into the stitch, pull a loop through. Remember, this is the last stitch. Pop your pink in the back of your hand, grab your new color, which is the gray, pull that loop through like so. And once again, you are going to grab the tail of your pink and your grey at the back, like you did when we first started our colours down here. Yeah. And you're going to do your half double crochet in your very first stitch of the blue, which is easy to find when you're changing colours. And then you're going to do your half double crochets across, and once again we're going to pop this on fast and off we go. Alright, on the very last stitch there, or second last stitch I should say, we're going to grab our very next colour, which is the brown. I just threw that from on top. Just moving everything out the way. All right, bring that up again. So, yarn over your hook. In your last stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops on your hook, grey into the hand, grabbing your brown or your koala, whatever colour you want to call it, and pull the loop through like so. So now you've got the tail of your brown and your grey in your hand at the back, and you're going to use the working yarn to finish off your section here, or start your section and finish it off. All right, so that's super easy. You know what you're doing. Let's pop this on fast. Second last stitch, and we are going to get ready for our very next colour, which is, I don't know what you want to call it, orange. All right, so this is your next colour. I've taken too much yarn out just to catch that, just to uncatch it. And here we go. Yarn into the very next stitch, pull a loop through. I don't know why I didn't bring that up. Yes, there. Into your hand at the back, grabbing your orangey colour. Pumpkin spice, whichever that may be for you. And again, your tail and your working yarn at the back of your last colour. Yeah. Yarn over your hook into your very next colour, which is the last colour of the set here. Second last stitch right there. Let's get a nice close up. Nothing changes here. You do your last stitch like normal. I think I've split my stitch. I'll take out my stitch marker. So do your last stitch like normal. Chain 1, flip your work. Now if you're anything like me, you did not cut that red tail, give it a cut. I'm going to make a nice long tail with that one because I use a lot of the red to be weaving in. Sewing in ends actually. And this pink is driving me nuts. I don't know why I got caught on everything. But anyway, there you go. So what you're going to do is flip your work and you're going to go across your row using these same colours. Now I'm going to let you do this on your own because we have a timestamp which is right there. If you go back to that timestamp and do the amount of rows that you need for your size. Now you know what you've done because you've done it here. So all you need to do is continue this set from the second row onwards. So I'll put a timestamp there for when the second row starts. And all you need to do is follow those instructions, all right? So that's it. I want you to head off on your own, do this one last set, and when we return, we're going to do another set, and then you'll be heading off on your own to finish one sleeve, all right? But for now, just do this set. Meet me back here after you've completed your set, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, so where you should be is at the end of your set, which is very exciting, sets I should say. I'm going to take that last stitch undone. I don't know why I completed it, but there you go. Alright, so your very next step would be to, actually no, I'm sorry, what you should do first, what we did before, is cut your colours. Remember what we did before? Cut your colours. You have to cut them because you will be needing them. Alright, so we're good. So now you're going to finish off your last set by adding your new colour, which is, I have to keep looking at my sheet because I keep forgetting the new colour. Don't you love it? New colour is brown. So grabbing your brown yarn over your hook, you are completing your half double crochet. Yeah, so grab that pink at the back there, grab your new colour and pop it on like so. Pulling the loop through and holding everything at the back like we've been doing all along. Chain one and flip your work. And you know this part, pop your hook in your first stitch like so, and do your half double crochet. I didn't need to do a close-up because you know what you're doing here now. I don't even think I need to show you the whole row, but I will anyway. So we will pop this on fast, and what I want you to do is get to your colours here. Your first colour here. Hello, and off we go. And second last stitch right there. Just pop, oh no, don't pop it in your hand yet, we haven't started it. Hello. Start your next and last stitch in that colour. Grab your new colour, which is the orange. Alright, so you're grabbing your new colour, you're popping it over the hook, pulling it through like so. And you know how to do the colour change. So do your colour change for this colour and go right up to that very next colour. We're going to pop this on fast. Second last stitch right here. And oh, actually, before we continue, we'll bring it back down again. All right, so far, this is what we have. We'll get rid of all the dark shadows there. Now, we have this, but guess what? The color combination we're putting here is going to be the tricolor, the 3 different colors, and it will look like that right there. Now, if you don't want to use this, just change to your normal color, but otherwise, for the rest of us, grab your color, your green, which is here. All right, right here. And we're going to start. Now, if you remember correctly, the stitch that we used, I believe we used the seed stitch for this. So let's just finish our last stitch by adding the green to it. Okay, grab your green, popping it through like normal, changing the color like normal. But your first stitch is going to be a double crochet. yarn over your hook, not a half double, yarn over your hook into the stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 only, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Next stitch, single crochet, hook in, pull a loop through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And the next stitch, double, in the stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops, yarn over through 2, 2 loops, yarn over through the last 2. Single. Yeah, getting the picture? You've done it before with the fronts and the back of the sweater. Again, if you haven't, this is the double, then you just need to continue on with your piece, yeah? Single. And double. Last one is single. Start your single, hold it there. All right, now you're going to grab your new colour, which is the grey. All right, so grab your grey, pop your hook, your grey on your hook, pull a loop through, pop the yarns at the back. You know this part, and now you're going back to your normal half doubles. Now this is where it can get a little tricky, and I know a lot of people have decided not to do the colour change on purpose because this can get a little confusing. Yeah, so just be wary that you are doing a different set in that center there. We're on our very final stitch of this row, and you're going to do the stitch, and I believe I've split the yarn. Of course I have. Don't you love it? She does it all the time. All right, so you're going to finish off your half double. You know how to do that. Chain 1, flip your work, and start your row again. So what I'm going to do now, because you know what you're doing, actually we'll go up to that next set. Do your first stitch like so. Well, it's a bit messy and a bit far away, isn't it? Oh, you don't need to see this part. You know what you're doing, so I want you to... I'll pop this on fast until we get to the green, and off we go. Here we are near the green. Let's get a close-up for you. All right, so what you're going to do is finish off your last stitch by doing your normal half double crochet. Now I forgot to mention that the other sizes may have ended off differently. If you ended off with a double crochet in that last stitch there, then you need to start with a single. Now we ended off with a single, so we're going to start with a double. All right, I forgot to mention that, and I'm sorry about that. It doesn't matter, I'm mentioning it now. Here we go. All right, so pulling that up and over, grabbing your new colour. Now the new colour after the green is the red, so pulling the red through like normal. All right, so there we go. You've got a lot of ends here just for this row here. So pulling everything over, your grey, your green, everything you've got there over. Now we are going to start with a double crochet. For those of you who have a double crochet in the last stitch, you start with a single. So I'm going to pop a double crochet here. And if you've got a double here, you're going to put a single. If you've got a single here, you're going to put a double. We've got a double, so we're going to put a single. All right, and that's your pattern. Single, double, single, double, single, double. All right, I've got a single in my second last stitch, so I'm doing a double. See that thread you've got here? You want to pop your hook under the thread, just hold it for a minute, then pop your hook in the green stitch. Now grab your thread, you're going to crochet over it by pulling a loop through like normal. That's your single. Just leave the green over there, pass your red forward, yeah, pick up your your orange, yarn over your hook, pull the loop through, and you are going to yarn over your hook again, pop it under your thread like normal, and just complete your first half double crochet. A little tiny bit tricky. Have I missed a stitch? No, that's fine. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to let you sit here and watch me do this part. You know what you're doing. What I will do, however, I want you to do the rest of this row, get back here. So you do the row, chain one, flip your work, go all the way up to your red right there. Go right up to your red right there, just before it, and don't complete the stitch, all right? So your job is to, easy job, continue along the way, chain one, flip, get to there, and I'll meet you there, right here, once you're done. Alrighty guys, I asked you to get to the end of your orange and get right next to your red. So yarn over your hook, you're going to complete your last stitch, pull a loop through, but hold it there. Now we are going to change to our pink yarn. So you're going to pull your loop through with the pink yarn. There's a lot of threads everywhere, just in this spot right here. So hook your yarn over, pull it through, or loop your yarn over, I should say. All you want to do is hold the brown at the back, brown, the tail end of the green, and the tail end of your pink. You've got a lot to hold at the back. There's those three colours right at the back. What you need here is your working end. Let's bring it out a bit so you can see. Your working end of your red and the working end of your pink. I'll explain that to you in a minute. But for now, all you want to do, again, I'm doing a single crochet. I'm doing a double crochet here. If you're doing a single, then you know how to start it. You start it, pop your hook in, pull a loop through. This is the double. Yeah, you know how to do your single. Start it, get it ready. You're going to put your yarn over your hook and pull through 2 loops if you're doing a double. If you're doing a single, wait there for me. Now what I want you to do is grab your working end of your red and just pop it over the loop of your pink. Just once. Yarn over and pull through the 2 loops, and that's for everyone. Grab your red and pop it at the back. If you're doing a double, do your double. We're doing a single, and off we go. Completing your row like normal. And what you've done is you've just raised the red for when you need to collect it on the way back in the very next round. Not the next one that's coming through this way, the next round on the way back. Because we need to now do the same for the end of this row as well. So it can be a little tricky. If you don't like this idea, then you need to change your threads and do it that way. All right, change your threads in every row. It's a lot of tails. I don't know if you want all those tails. Make sure you're tightening your ends when you do everything, and I'll explain that to you in a minute, because otherwise it will come loose and it will show that you did carry it up. If your work is tightened, it shouldn't show, okay, the carry up. All right, so I'm not sure where everyone is right now, single or double, doesn't matter. Pop my single in there. Before I pull a loop through, I'm going to grab the green and pop the green over the hook. It's a little tricky, but we're lifting it up, getting it ready for the next round. Pull the pink through like so, pop the green at the back. Oh, you want to pop your green and the pink at the back, and you want to complete your stitch with your grey. And you might want to put the red at the back as well. Everything goes at the back. And just complete your stitch with your grey. Whether you're doing a single crochet or a double, complete your stitch with your grey. Always complete your stitch with your very next colour. All right, it was a little tricky, yeah? You're going to complete your row, finish it, chain one, do your half double, come all the way back right there and meet me there in a moment, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of this section. Now I asked you to get back to the section right here. You start your grey, passing your grey forward like normal. Now I don't know where you are on your work, whether you were at a single crochet or a double. I'm at a single, so I need to do a double. If you're at a double, do a single. Yeah. Now we're not picking up the red or the green. The red or the pink. The red's only your tail anyway. Pop that out the way. Your pink is what we worked with before. So all I want you to do is pop everything over there. I'm going to tighten this up a little. Pop everything over there. Grab your green. This is why we got you to carry it up before. Pull a loop through, like so. Yarn over your hook, and your hook goes under your green into the stitch, and do your double crochet or your single crochet, whichever you have. All right, and the rest is easy. Single in the next, or double if you have a single there, and double in the next, so you know what you're doing all the way across. Cool. So what I want you to do, actually, you know what, we'll have to show you how to do this side right here, and then you'll know what to do for the rest of your rows, yeah? Oh, I did a double and a double, we want a single. Come on, Mary, you can do this. Let's just move that out the way so you can see. That's better. And your double goes in there. Oh, I'm splitting the yarn all over the place. Hello. When that happens, sometimes it pays to twist your yarn a little bit. Not a lot, because you don't want to thin it out, yeah? And sometimes it happens because you have used your yarn too much. You've crocheted with it a lot, yeah? So that's going to happen. So continue your row until you get to the end of your pink. And then once I show you this next bit, you're going to head off on your own and complete this. And you can just keep re-watching what we have been doing here with the carrying up of the yarn, okay? Because you know how to carry it up now after you get this next one done, which is almost there. Oh, what have I done here? There's threads everywhere. That's a double crochet, good. Because the next one has got to be the single. Now see what I'm doing here? Forgot to mention, make sure everything is relatively tight. Pass everything over, but before you do your very next stitch, in my case is supposed to be a single. Looks like I've accidentally done a single there. I'm not really sure what I've done, or it's just a really loose double. What you're going to do is pop your hook in your, before you do, you're going to lift up the red, okay? What you've got here is your red, okay? You're going to lift it up like that over your hook. Remember what I did before? We lifted up over the hook. It's a little tricky. You're going to have to keep re-watching this, I think, and pop your hook in your stitch. Do your single crochet, leaving your red there, your green there, your pink, everything you've got there, leaving it there, grabbing your orange and starting. Oh, I've split the yarn. This orange, let me explain something to you, because I'm going to have to take these 4 rows undone. See that? I've already cut the yarn twice. It's had a lot of weak ends there, and I don't know why. So that's very interesting. Oh, no, too much information for you, sorry. Whoops, I nearly forgot. Make sure you pop your hook under that orange into the first stitch, pull a loop through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then off you go, completing your row. Yeah, I'm going to have to remove this. I'm going to have to redo my 4 rows again because of this orange. I can feel it in my hand. If I give it a tug, that's going to break. Yeah. All right. So that happens sometimes. The whole skein's been beautiful, but sometimes things can go wrong in the middle of the skein. But anyway, all right. I don't think I need to show you any more. All right. What I want you to do is to make sure you untangle a lot, because look at that. Mine's tangled up. It's only because I'm rushing to show you what to do with your next area. Yeah. So what I want you to do is continue in this manner until you get to the end of your rows, whether that be 10, 12, whatever it is. So continue into that manner. We've done 1, 2, 3, and 4 rows. So you need to do another, whatever it is for your size. All right. Making sure that you are still counting 16 per set. Making sure that you are carrying up your yarn here. This is a very tricky section of our work. And know that this is the only time you'll be changing this. The only time you'll be using this set is in this middle square on this sleeve. And of course the middle square on the next sleeve. All right. So you don't have to use this. And I know a lot of subscribers have sent messages saying, I didn't use this because I found it all way too confusing. If you're finding it too confusing, guys, just cut your thread and have your threads dangling like that. And then you can just weave those ends in. And you don't have to carry up yarns or anything. You're just reattaching your thread every time you end a row. All right, I hope that makes sense. But anyway, what I want you to do is head off on your own, do the rest of these rows, meet me back here, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of this set. Now before we continue, you need to make sure that you've got the right amount of rows, make sure you have the right amount of counts across, and when you are ready, you can start cutting some of your threads. Alright, otherwise you're going to be all tangled up later. Okay, now here you're cutting that pink. Remember that pink? You didn't have to go up anymore because we already finished it. We'll fix it all up in a minute. And the next one is you're cutting the red, you're cutting the green, you're cutting the orange, and you can cut the brown in a minute. All right, but for the rest of it, you can push it all out the way if you want. Now my color combination in the next set was a little bit off, so if you want to change it, you can. In the meantime, the next color we're using is the grey. So yarn over your hook. I had to check my paperwork there. I had to look down. All right. So yarn over your hook, pop your hook into your stitch, pull a loop through, pass it over. And I'm going to explain why I use these colors in a minute, and then you can change them if you like. Pop the yarn over your hook and pull a loop through like so. You can change them, and I'll tell you why in one moment. And we're just going to chain one. Take out that stitch marker for starters. Hello. Turn your work. And you're doing your first half double as you would in any other row. There, popping your stitch marker in. And when we finish this row, actually I might explain it to you now. Let's just do 2 stitches. And I'll explain why I chose the colours I did, and if you wanted to change them, you could. All right, let's bring everything out and let's pop this down this way. You're going to have to weave in all these ends if you haven't. I grabbed my fronts and my backs. I've just got it attached to show you what I mean by choosing the colour combinations that I chose. Now, where we are with this one here, this sleeve here, is on our final set for certain sizes, right? So when you complete that final set, this is what it'll look like. This is the original sleeve that I've made, yeah? So you literally want to complete your set where your color combinations aren't the same when you attach your sleeve. That sleeve's been folded in half, and if I was to attach that sleeve there, you wouldn't have any colors that are clashing. Yeah, and that's the front of your work. Then let's pretend that this is the back, which it is, right? So we're turning the sleeve over where the back is, and that's the back of your work. None of the colours literally clash. When I say clash, you don't have red next to red and green next to green. However, if you want to change the colour combination of the final row of your piece, and I'll tell you why you could. Because look what I have. I have the pink on top of the pink and the green on top of the green. It's so far of a distance it doesn't really matter, and it won't be noticed once it's on the sleeve. However, once again, if you want to change the color combination, you can. So now your job, guys, is to do just that. You need to attach the next set of colors. There's your next set of colors, like that. That is what your sleeve should look like. There. So your very next set of colors, now we've started it already, the light gray, should be that look right there. You don't have to use the same colors I'm using, entirely up to you, where you've got your gray, your red, your pink and your green. If you were to use this color combination, know that you will have the pink on top of the pink from a long way down that no one's going to notice, and the green on top of the green once again from the long way down that no one's going to notice. I can't bring this out anymore, but that's the combination I would like for you to complete. All right, what I want you to do is to, where am I? Hello, is to complete this set. Now you know how to attach because we've done it all the way through this particular tutorial. So I'm going to let you head off on your own, do this set, meet me back here in a moment, and we'll talk about what's going to happen next. Alrighty guys, what you should have is that. Now you would have weaved in all your ends. If you haven't, you need to do that. It doesn't matter because we're not doing anything with this particular piece until the very next tutorial. As you can see, this tutorial's gone for way too long. So what I want you to do is complete this last step. You pop your hook in, stitch like normal, doing that. Chain one, pull a loop through, grab some scissors. Whoops, oh that didn't work, hello. It kind of cut it from the side there. That's hilarious. And you give your work a cut and you pull your little tail through. Now I left a long tail, but I'm going to use that tail to sew across here later. Don't worry about it for now. Something you need to worry about in the next tutorial. All right. So what you have here is, let's turn her over so you've got the right side facing you, is one complete sleeve. Your job now is to complete one more sleeve exactly the same as this one. Now you, again, if you weren't happy with having your pink opposite here and your green opposite there, you could have changed them to suit you. Just remember that as long as it doesn't clash with the top of your sweater, then you can use whatever colours you want up the top. Alright, so thank you very much for joining us today, completing one sleeve. Don't forget you need to complete the second sleeve. Weave in all your ends that you have here. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to join us on our lives at 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoons, 10 a.m. Saturday morning, Melbourne, Australia time that is. My name is Mary. This is Wow Crochet Designs, and happy crocheting to you. Ciao for now.